Welcome back to Triumphant Kids Corner. We're so glad that you are here with us again. Are you ready for another Sunday school lesson? All right, friends, don't forget to press the thumbs up, click the notification button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook at The Triumphant Church of God. Alrighty, our first lesson will be our 2 to 5-year-olds. Your story title is Paul and Silas Sang to God. And this is what your activity sheet looks like. For our 1st to 3rd graders, Paul preached to an angry crowd. And this is your activity sheet. Now, my 4th to 6th graders, you have the same title as our 1st to 3rd graders, but this is your activity sheet. So we're going to grab our stories, we're going to grab a seat, and we're going to get ready for story time! And parents, don't forget to ask any questions or answer their questions. I hope you guys enjoy your stories today. I'll see you after.
Paul and Silas loved Jesus. Everywhere they went, they told people about Jesus. Some people did not want Paul and Silas to talk about Jesus. They put Paul and Silas in jail. The jailer locked their feet in chains. Paul and Silas still told others about Jesus, even in jail. They began to pray and sing songs to God. The other prisoners listened to them pray and sing. Suddenly, at midnight, while Paul and Silas were praying and singing, there was an earthquake. The ground shook so hard that the prison doors opened and the prisoners' chains came loose. The earthquake woke the man who worked in the jail. When he saw the jail doors were open, the jailer was afraid he would be in trouble if the prisoners were gone. Then the jailer heard Paul call out, "We are all still here. Do not be afraid." The jailer ran to where Paul and Silas were. He took them back to his house. Paul and Silas told the jailer and his family the good news about Jesus and how much Jesus loved them. The jailer and his family believed what they heard about Jesus.
Paul preached to an angry crowd. When Paul went to Jerusalem, the Jewish believers welcomed him and listened as Paul told about the good things that God was doing among the Gentiles in other places. The Jewish believers in Jerusalem praised God for all that he was doing. Then they told Paul that some of the Jews were upset. These Jews thought Paul was not teaching the Gentiles to obey God's law. These Jews had seen Paul in Asia. They came and stirred up the crowd. "He teaches against our people and our law," they declared, and they tried to kill Paul. The Roman commander sent soldiers to arrest Paul. When the crowd saw the soldiers, they stopped beating him. The mob became so angry that the soldiers had to take Paul to the Roman jail to protect him. Paul could have entered the jail without facing the crowd who tried to kill him. Instead, with permission, Paul spoke to the people in their own language. Paul said, "I am a Jew, and I wanted to please God, just as you do. I arrested people whom I thought were against God. One day, on my way to Damascus to arrest more people, I saw a bright light. I fell to the ground and heard someone call my name. 'Why are you prosecuting me?' the voice asked. 'Who are you?' I answered. The voice explained he was Jesus. I was to go into Damascus where someone would tell me what to do. Because I was blind from the light, a believer named Ananias came to me and made me see again. He explained that God planned for me to tell about Jesus to everyone. I got up, was baptized, and left for Jerusalem. While I was praying, I saw Jesus warning me I was in danger. I knew the Jews remembered me. I helped prosecute others, including Stephen. But God told me to go and preach to the Gentiles. God wants everyone to be saved." When the men heard this, they shouted for Paul to be killed. The commander ordered him beaten and questioned. But when Paul said he was a Roman citizen, and was entitled to a fair trial, the commander stopped the beating. He took Paul before the Jewish leaders to learn what happened.
Welcome back from story time. I hope you enjoyed your stories. First to sixth graders, I know you had a lengthy story right there, but there were a lot of details that we may talk about in our second craft. But for our first craft, since we're going to continue with our map, we're going to add our new stamps to our passport, and we are going to have our pictures. You'll see this in your description box. It will be Paul's Journey Part 3. Paul went to Jerusalem. For the first to sixth graders, Paul went to Jerusalem, but for my 2 to 5-year-olds, Paul is still in Philippi with Silas. So we have 2 different locations that we're still going to add, even though you guys talked about 2 different stories today. So in Philippi with Paul and Silas, and Jerusalem with Paul by himself. Paul got arrested a lot, guys, and all with spreading the word of God. He was tough. All right, you're also going to need your thick marker or a marker, whatever you want to use, a glue stick and tape. And if you still have your passport, I know I mentioned that, but if you also have your stamps, guys, please don't lose your stuff. But if you do lose it, you can always go back to our videos where I posted all the links to those things, and voila, you'll have it. So now we are going to add our passports in, or our stamps. So the last place we were in was Athens. That was week number 5. So we are going to write in week number 6 and 7. I'm going to put 7 on the other side. We may need to add more pages to our passport. We'll see. And I'm going to glue. We went to Philippi first, so we're going to go back to 6. And we're going to add Philippi. This is where Paul and Silas were in the prison singing praises unto God, and then the jail started to shake. It was like an earthquake. And now we are in Jerusalem, so that's week number 7. Paul is in Jerusalem. Now, what I usually do, I just write the city that we're in, but you could just color, make a nice picture, or add some colors to it. Now that our passport is stamped and ready to go, we can continue traveling. We are going to get ready to add our pictures. So I'm turning them over, and I'm going to add my tape. Now we are going to add our pictures to our map. All right, so now we have added our pictures to our map. I still didn't color everything in, but guys, I will color it in. And we're gonna still add some more stuff to our map. But today, remember, we went to Philippi for our 2 to 5-year-olds. And then parents, you could talk to them about Paul's journey to Jerusalem. And then our last destination will be next week. So I hope you, we forgot to move our boat. Now we went to Philippi, and now we are in Jerusalem. Make sure you put your boat on Jerusalem. And that's it for craft number 1. And now it's time for craft number 2. So this is what you're going to need: a ruler, some tape, and then we have some fist hair. So you'll have a printout of this in your description box. What you can do is have your child color first, then cut. Scissors, gray construction paper. I usually have dark. I had both. I had dark and light. So my sample is dark, and this one, which what we're gonna do together, I'm gonna use the light one. It will symbolize the metal. It works. And they can use markers. I use markers for this craft. And I'm gonna show you my finished product in advance to show you what we're making. We are making chains. This will symbolize the chains that Paul had to wear, wrong way, while he was in jail. And I made mine a little short, so today we're gonna make ours a little bit longer. You can make yours as long as you want it. But let's begin. So the first thing, like I said, have your child color, then cut out the fist. And now we are going to, I'm going to use a marker for this. Actually, do I have a pencil? I left my pencil, guys. We're going to we're going to put all 3 pieces of construction paper together. And I'm going to use my ruler and make lines going straight down. And we're going to see how thick. We want it to be around this thickness. I got a pencil. Thank you, Zoe. So we're going to trace our line going down. We're going to make about 4 lines. Still can't find my long ruler. I think I broke it and just forgot that I broke it. So I'm sad. And let's decide its thickness again. So you're just gonna make 4 lines, or I think this will actually give me, 4 lines. Or 3 lines. 3 lines will give me 4 strips. Okay, now all 3 of my construction papers are together and I made my lines. All you're gonna do is cut, cut, cut. And just try to keep all 3 papers together. It's okay if you go offline. We're not trying to be perfectionists. Now we have our strips. I probably made too much, but hey, that's okay. We can make something else of this. So now we are going to make our links. And I forgot my stapler. I'll be right back. It's a stapler. So we have our link. We're gonna fold it. We're gonna have the 2 ends connect, and I'm just gonna have them lay over a little bit like so. And I'll staple one side, and I'll staple it like this. So 1 staple here and 1 staple here. Then we're gonna take the next strip, we're gonna loop it through. And all you're doing is the same thing. Loop it through and then staple the 2 ends together. And you can make this with them as long as you want. Trust me, they will have fun with this. These are our chains. Now, we're going to take each fist. This may be the tricky part because you want to know which direction you want the fist to be facing. So do you want them to be facing inward, like so? Most likely we'll do it that way instead of the other way. So where I have my stapler, that is where I'm going to tape the wrist part of my fist. So I'm going to start it right here. And I'm just going to make sure that it's in the right place. So when I hold it up, it's actually the way I want it to be. So that's good. So we're going to take our tape. You could try this with glue, but the glue stick didn't have a good hold for me. Tape was just worked out. It just worked out better. And I'm only gonna put tape on the wrist. 2 pieces. And I'm gonna just make tape for the other one. Cut pieces. Okay, I'm gonna put our second one here. That's one. Let's put it on our next fist. That's one. This is 2. So let's attach our fist. That's 1. And that's 2. And I think I did this wrong. Is this how it's supposed to go? No. So we're just gonna switch this one around. Let me make sure this is how I want it. So I'm using the staples as my base or as my mark. This may look a little slanted, but that's okay. You guys can fix yours. All right, so here are your chains, and they can walk around pretending to be Paul and make a scenario, make a scene where they're singing praises while they're in jail, singing praises to God, and then an earthquake starts to happen and their chains are broken and loose. But have fun with this. This is actually a really fun task. This is chains I used to make in elementary school with different colors, and we just hang them and use them as decoration. So this would be just another way of bringing the story to life. And this is it for our second craft. Thank you. All right, that is it for our first and second craft. That is it today. Did you guys enjoy? Did you have fun continuing your map? Did you have fun making these chains? This is really fun. And if you want to even use this as decorations around the house, you can use different colors. You go right ahead. But please let us see what you are making. Show us what you've done. Post it on our Facebook page at The Triumphant Church of God. You can comment down below on our YouTube page. And you can also follow us on Instagram at triumphant.youth. Triumphant.youth. Post your picture so we can see that you are participating, that you're having fun. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And God bless you, and can't wait to see you next week. Bye.